Wow, today has a lot of magic in the air. Today I can really feel it so strongly in the wind and the way the wind is singing in the trees. And I'm sitting by a window here and there's a window there, so I really hope that you all will hear what I'm hearing. Today, wow. Today, I woke up and didn't even want to move for a bit. I just sat with the sun like washing down upon me in this area, actually, this little nook. So welcome to my new cozy spot I just created. And after feeling different things yesterday and writing some poetry, having a lot taking place within all at once. There's a lot of stuff going on many levels, on multi-dimensional levels. And yeah, so today I felt strongly that I should go into nature for a little bit. Um, and I found a new beautiful spot, so I hope to make a few videos, as many videos as I can before it gets cold. But there truly is something in the air. It is in linear time. In linear time, it is Saturday, October 20th, 2018, 10:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I say that for a reason. Uh, a little over a month ago, I began to have some feelings and experiences where I I realized I'm feeling my soul family, I'm feeling my star family, my galactic family. And I made a video on that. And ever since then, much has progressed. Yeah, I'd say so. And it's wonderful and exciting how things unfold. And gosh, I don't even know where to start. If you've had any experiences like I have, where a lot of your memory seemed to be hidden from you or repressed due to some trauma here on the planet, it made it a little bit harder for you to access the information right away or sooner in linear time. That's, that's one thing, right? Trauma, and I go into trauma a lot and will be going into trauma more in my podcast. But there are so many factors to remembering and many factors in not remembering. So when you incarnate into a family that has limited beliefs, that will stunt a lot at times. Not always. Oh, I feel like, ooh, bless me. Ooh. Whew. Yeah, and so I've always been the weird one out of my siblings, and been made fun of a bit, not a bit, a lot. And a lot of memory from Germany is vague because of trauma that took place there. Um, but I do have some memory from California, and a lot of memory when we moved to the Midwest, Kentucky, to Fort Knox to be exact. And so I had a lot of experiences that I remember in California and Kentucky. And they were what people call supernatural experiences, spiritual experiences, however you want to call it, paranormal experiences. Uh, I'd see it all the time. I'd see spirits all the time. I'd see beings all the time. And I often was very scared to go to sleep. And I knew that when I closed my physical eyes, there were beings that were trying to do something, trying to harm me or something. You know, I don't know how much of it my parents believed. I think they thought that I just had, you know, what all children, like most children, that they're scared of the dark. They think there's a boogeyman, all that kind of stuff. But in actuality, no, like I knew even at that young age, I knew I was traveling, and when my physical body was at rest, I was traveling. And looking back now and looking further into things after remembering, even having yet another aha moment. Oh yeah, that definitely used to happen when I was younger. When I go to sleep, I was talking with a soul brother just the other day and sharing my experiences because we shared this video with one another. And it resonates. And if you've looked into anything with disclosure, I don't know who is watching right now. I don't know if you are what we call starseed, as in, that is the term I apply to myself. I think it's the best at this time for the awareness on the planet. It fits. Um, wow, I don't know if anybody's catching this. It's really crazy outside right now, but in a cool way. Like, if there's so much wind in the trees, it's like there's magic happening, like a portal is opened or something. That's why I feel like I should do the video now. I feel like energy's coming in. I mean, I know I was told last week to stop um, doing so much and be more quiet and listen, so I have been. And during this phase of listening, I've been receiving a lot of information, whether it's memories being pieced together, doing some research, picking up on my research from years ago, and having conversations with some people. So, back to what I was saying. When I was younger, I believe, I'm pretty sure I was experiencing um, certain beings that were trying to uh, they wanted to know more about me, first of all. They knew I was a starseed. They knew I incarnated here for a purpose, very specific purposes. And if you have, that's what I was saying. I don't know if you're a starseed or not. If you're someone who does research into um, ETs and UFOs, and I say with quotation marks for a reason, but you know, humans categorize these experiences and beings with those names. So I don't know who you are or what, but obviously you came to this video. So if you know anything about David Wilcox or maybe Gaia.com or maybe even beyond him, other research, okay? So there have been cases and evidence that shows that um, there are souls, there are star seeds who are, sometimes it happens when they first incarnate, like during the birth process. Sometimes it's after. Sometimes it is when they're very young. But there seems to be an interest in star seeds, in souls who have incarnated onto planet Earth that have very strong gifts. And some get taken into programs, some go missing, and all kinds of stuff. Anyways, I would have reoccurring dreams of being in a room, like an interrogation room kind of a thing, and questioned. I I would remember men in suits. Then I'd have other dreams where I'm running away because these beings, these people wanted to harm me. And that's some of it. That's like, yeah, that's just some of it. Okay. So then I had other experiences while physical body is asleep where energetic beings, so not in a physical form or a form really that can be seen. Some could be seen, but it's mostly by the with the mind's eye. There were beings like this that I would see that would try to mess and manipulate my dream time space, my astral space. um, I had a knack for predicting things when I was young. I would tell my parents things at times. I think my mom always believed in me. My dad, maybe, I don't know. I can't remember, not so much. I don't know. But some things I really would trust when I would say certain things and they'd actually heed what I was sharing. Um, so those are some memories from childhood. But when you are a star seed and you've incarnated into a family, which most of us do, we incarnate into families that, um, you know, our family is not spiritually awake or awake to the point where they are accepting of what we are here to share. And yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and especially when their behaviors, their habits, their belief systems don't resonate with you, and you know, when you're the only one in this kind of environment and you're not resonating, but it's where you live, right? It's where you live and you're young. You know, what are you going to do? So that can affect a starseed's growth, a starseed's memory, you know? And I've heard from others, I've watched videos, I've chatted with others where, you know, this is definitely the case. And so we kind of shut down. We shut down. And then of course you got the public school system and religious systems. You've got religion. And it doesn't matter which religion your family practices. It's the fact that there are rules, right? And guidelines and belief systems that are so ingrained. And sometimes these religions have been passed down for quite some time within your family, your lineage. So it's really hard to get out of that mold when it's constantly around you. So that affects the starseed's growth and remembering as well. But I have always known since I was little that I was not from here, and it saddened me greatly. I would look up at the sky, I'd look up at the stars and talk to them. I would cry. And I remember I was always constantly trying to remember. And I remember crying a lot at night when we were put to bed and my sister was asleep. I felt comfortable to finally cry. You know, I'd cry for my home, and I would cry and call out for my family. And I know to some who are not starseeds, you're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But other starseeds, you know. And I felt very out of place in my family, and I would often say out, you know, I miss my real family. Like I feel like I don't belong here. They don't really seem like my family. Now, this is possibly twofold, okay? So I knew I had incarnated onto Earth as a human being, that I had come from a different place. So there's that. But there is also the possibility that I'm also a walk-in. That might be another reason why my memory is fuzzy. That is yet to be determined, and we'll get back to that at some time. I'm going to be doing some more regression and hypnosis work to figure that one out. But anywho, so yeah, I would cry, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm now 31 and I still cry. I still miss them. And that's another significant thing that would happen when I was younger. This missing my family and knowing I had not been human, and I knew that there was more than just being human, and knowing that a lot of the belief systems around me didn't resonate and were old, like outdated and of lower vibration. It really was a huge driving force in me to remember, to constantly seek, to constantly search, to research, to ask questions, to ask myself questions, to pray, to seek spirituality, and trying to figure out and remember, who am I? Where am I from? And when in 2011, a lot of magical stuff happened, and it's beautiful because that seems to be the case for a lot of other people. That actually was a huge time frame. It was a marker in linear time when a lot of starseeds received codes. Unawakened starseeds received codes and were activated. We woke up and we were having memory restored. We were being ignited. We were being inspired, and we were finding one another. And I was going through all kinds of hell at that time. I was in an abusive relationship, and I just finally, after losing faith, and I had always been a very positive, um, mostly. There was a dark time when I was younger, but I'd always been a positive, optimistic, and person full of faith, believing in a higher source. But after going through this crazy relationship, I decided to throw it out the window. And, but then it got so bad that I just finally called out, like, I need help. And after that, um, stuff started to move, stuff started to happen. And I met, um, a woman named Jenny. She and I worked for the same person. And, right away, it was just like, like a, we could feel this connection. And, eventually I would realize she's also a star seed, you know, and she was playing a part in activating me and helping me remember who I am. And I had other people come along, and during that year of 2011, I had a lot of sometimes we call it deja vus, and sometimes it gets confusing because um, some were deja vus, and this still happens. Some are deja vus, and some are actual memory recalls of dreams I've had. Because, like I said, when I was younger, I would sometimes dream things, like see it before it happened. And so I actually had dreams. I don't know, sometimes it could be like a week before or years before. It just depends. So I was coming across a lot of people in 2011 that I was like, whoa, I know you, like I've seen you before. So some were like deja vus, but some were like, I literally had a dream like 2 years ago and I specifically remember it. And I remember feeling that I think I was gonna make this one person uncomfortable if I told him. We worked together, doing B2B sales. So, and I barely knew him, and I didn't want him to like get weirded out by me. So I didn't say anything to him. But there was this one woman that I worked with, and we worked at trade shows and at markets and festivals, and we got pretty cool. So, and we get into topics about spirituality and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna just tell you, okay? Like, I know you from somewhere. And she actually didn't get weirded out, so that was good. So I had stuff like that happen, and that's when I just was starting to get activated really, really, really fast. And that is also actually when I started to have these dreams. And I mean, you gotta understand when you when you are going through a super, super stressful relationship where it's abusive and dark, like your dreams or something most of the time are not that great, but I started to have amazing vivid dreams. And I started to receive songs in my dreams. I started to actually receive messages from what you would call, what people are calling, twin flame. Like I would have words come to me in an actual melody, and I'd wake up and write it down. So a lot was happening. A lot. And it started to become very, very exciting. And then the woman I told you about, the first starseed that I was aware of that was a starseed, Jenny, she told me about 11/11, what that she had heard that it was going to be this magical day. And mind you, this is November 11th, 2011. So it was 11/11/11. And when she told me and sent me this video clip, I was like, whoa, like like I could feel it all throughout my body and spirit. It just ignited me, and I had chills all over my body. Spirit moved, I could feel it. And I was like, this is real. This is, you talking about manifesting, this is real. Like this seems to be something I know, yet I can't remember. And so I made it a point to I remember I said, when November 11th comes, I'm going to make sure I sit down and I am going to set an intention. I am going to make a wish. And I did. And I remember when I ran, I was out doing something with my boyfriend at the time, and we got home just in time. I was like, oh my God, I gotta sit down. And I was like, oh my God, it's like 11:09. It was crazy. And I was like right outside our apartment door. So I like ran inside, grabbed a notebook, and sat down. I really, really hope I still have that notebook now that I'm thinking about it. Um, and I remember sitting down, and it was 11:11 p.m. on 11:11, and I wrote this short passage. And I remember it went something like, I wish to remember, all that I am love, and to know love, to really feel love, to know love, to remember and embody this, to stand in love, and remember that I am a channel, that I am like I forgot how I worded it, but it's so interesting that it came out that way. That I'm like a channel. I am a worker. I'm here in service for love, and that love surround my life. That love emits from me so strongly that it will affect every single person that I encounter. And it felt very, very magical. And after that, nothing was the same. Everything changed fast, very rapidly. Um, and my journey unfolded. Like, I finally was able to leave him, which is amazing when if you ever read stories from anyone who is willing to open up about an abusive relationship, especially one where there's and in most abusive relationships, it is, someone who is a narcissist or using very manipulative techniques and all that. So I really, I know that, it's a beautiful thing that I was able to get out, to be able to gain power again over my mind and remember who I am, and get away from this very, very toxic person. And after that, after that, like, holy fuck balls, like, you know, um everything happened rapidly, and I did everything off intuition. And when I did that, when I followed my soul and what felt right and what I was being told in here, what I was saying to myself, like I want to be away from everything. I became a monk. I became an ascetic. I became uh you know, like someone who goes to an ashram, someone who goes to the mountains, like I then changed my life. I went within and physically, literally did that and removed myself from people and habits and everything, and just lived much more simply. And when I did that, things unfolded like crazy, and I started to have like past life memories coming up. And then I got to go over to Italy and ended up joining a group of women. And Dieter, he was the husband of one woman, and Charles. So there was two men and all these women, and all of them, like I knew all of them. Like we all recognized one another. Like we had never seen each other in this life, but we kind of looked at one another and were like, "Whoa, I know you." Like, "Whoa, I know you." And so a lot of activation was occurring. This was in 2012, 2013, and it doesn't stop. Like I became very, very, very curious about languages in 2012. Excuse me, because I grew up in a family that was Pentecostal. So if you know anything about people who are Pentecostal, a Pentecostal church one thing that they're big on is speaking in tongues. And so at this time, at the age of 25 in 2012, I, I would be with my mother a lot, and she'd want to pray, or we'd pray together. And I remember this one time we were praying, and she began speaking this language. The thing is that I've been around my mother a lot in church and out of church, so I've heard her speak in tongues before. And I've never heard her speak this language, this dialect before. And when she did, I began crying, and I knew I was being spoken to. I knew that I was being spoken to from my star family. And it felt so good. And after I heard that, I went on this like crazy search, started researching. I was like, Christians call this speaking in tongues, but, to me, I don't like that term. I was like, you know what? I really think that these are like very ancient languages, very ancient, very old, but very powerful. And so when I began research, I fell upon light language, star language. And so I began researching, and I was just like trying to find sound bits on YouTube and on websites, trying to find this dialect, this language my mother had spoken. And that sent me on a crazy search where I was constantly looking and asking for it to come back. And yeah, I think the closest I got, I think I'm trying to remember. I mean, and I saved this. Everything is still in bookmarks in my Chrome browser. And I still hope to do further research and videos and blog posts because I love research, and a huge chunk of me is a big scribe. I love writing. I love writing and journaling. I love research. I really love that. And so I hope to get into that more. But there were a few languages, ancient languages, that seemed to be kind of similar to this light language my mother had spoken. And one of them, I think it was like Phoenician or something, which also, when I looked into the Phoenicians, I was like, okay, that actually would make a lot of sense. Like, it resonated, their lifestyle and their history. But that's that. So that's one thing. When things started to unfold, my memory as a starseed started to unfold. But I was like constantly asking, where am I from? I know I'm not from here. I know something's up, like I know. And slowly more things would start to unfold, and especially like past lives. And it was amazing to finally be around other people, finally, other people who didn't think I was fucking weird, or was making it up, or had some kind of mental health issue. In Italy, it was just beautiful to be around these other women. And there was one woman in particular, that she just like, every time we looked at one another or each other, I was just like, God, like, you really, really seem familiar. And and then I remember after like our first or second day of class with Charles, when I went back to my room, I did like a little meditation. I think I was like listening to, because I recorded the class, so I would listen, or I think I was like listening to a meditation he had put us through. And I went somewhere else and had a quick visit of a place that is not of Earth, and it's beautiful. This place is beautiful. I could tell that I was flying, and I was approaching a city like a place with, a population of some sort, and these structures, these buildings, tall, with kind of like turrets, I think they're called turrets. So some of these buildings had like skinny, tall, um, poles on the top, and and there were beautiful lights in the atmosphere. Like the atmosphere was colorful, like these beautiful greens and like pinks and purples, just like it was so beautiful. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful. And I heard a voice tell me something, and I can't really remember. And I think, and I say I think, and I'm sorry because I'll have to go back and look at my notes. But I think I heard the word Kryon, and I was like, what the heck is Kryon? So I came out of that, and after that, I remember going the next day and asking around, does anybody know what Kryon is? Until finally, this Italian man who was uh, part of our group, he told me what Kryon. He told me to look into it, and I mean, I can link that below. And so it's been a while since I've listened to some audio from Kryon, but I believe it's like a group. It's a group consciousness, much like how um, Barbara Hicks, brings through group consciousness, and then or like the Book of Ra or whatever. I think, it's been some time, so I haven't listened to Kryon in a while. So anywho, another cool thing is that I remember during this time in Italy, while on this master intensive course with the ladies in Charles, I remember in one dream I dreamt of the lady I'm telling you about that looked extremely familiar, like super crazy familiar. And I remember the place vividly. Um, we were inside what a lot of people would, their mind would probably immediately go to, oh, this is a temple. It was a very large space, but inside a building with huge pillars. And the ground and the pillars, the walls were the color of, sand, like that beautiful light brown cream. And there were these steps, and I sat down on the steps and looked down, and I saw the Parash, that's her name, and I saw her at the very bottom of the steps, and I was smiling at her, and she turned around and looked at me and waved and then beckoned me. She was going like this. And there was this beautiful, beautiful painting of the ocean behind her on the wall. Just this amazingly beautiful painting. And it was a very trippy dream. It was very like otherworldly and lucid, and the next day I went to her and I was like, please don't think I'm weird, but I dreamt of you. And she was like, that's not weird at all. And I told her, and she said, yeah. She was like, yeah, you are familiar to me too. She was like, I feel like we knew one another in Lemuria. And once she said that word, that name, something clicked to me, like Lemuria. And I knew. It brought back a feeling memory. And so she started speaking to me about what she knew about Lemuria, what she remembered as well, and it all resonated. So that was the first time that someone was able to help me remember some of my ancient past here on this planet. And I remember coming back from Europe and fervently researching Lemuria as well. And let me tell you, in the year 2013, there there was barely anything. There was there was next to nothing. And at the time, there was next to nothing about Starseeds as well. And that's why it was amazing to find like minded souls on social media at the time, Facebook and Instagram. And we would share information and discuss it. Oh, that was such a great time. It was such a great time. It's wild now because a lot of us don't speak anymore, and we're all on our different paths and have gone different ways. And But it was amazing to all be together at one time discussing things and helping one another remember things. It's, it would be lovely if we could all group back up together. I wonder how everyone is doing. But yeah, so it was hard to find information on Lemuria, but I did come across research from the Theosophical Society and some other stuff. So all that is bookmarked in my browser. So I've been doing research for years, and I'll research it for a bit and then like stop. You know, stuff happens and it's stuff that you got to do on the side, so it kind of gets put on the back burner. But the thing is, now this is exactly why I am even doing this video, is because now, as in now in this linear time, look at that, 10:44, 1:44. Now in this linear time, I am feeling the push, I'm feeling the urge, I'm feeling inspired to pick back up on this research. And of course, it makes sense because I'm also feeling my star family. And at the same time, I've been calling out to them. I've been asking for them to come through more again. It was, let me fast forward. It was much easier to obtain information, remember information, and communicate with them when I began communing with Mother Ayahuasca. I will say that. That is why, that is one huge reason why I love her and why I have so much respect for her consciousness, for her purpose on this planet. She is amazing, and her work is amazing, especially for souls who are trying to remember, if they're ready and ready to remember past incarnations. She's wonderful. And I remember my first my very first session, my very first time drinking the tea. It was so beautiful. I mean, people can see how moved I was, that in my video of her, I was crying, and it was hard to put things into human words, and it still is. And at the time, I felt like there were things that were not meant to be spoken about. It just was not time. But time has passed, and it feels like there are things that it's okay now. There are certain things that, yes, we can go there, we can speak about it, we can share this information. And in my first session, it was so overwhelmingly beautiful and reassuring, because right away, I had guidance. I I remember basically going through a portal. There was like this green sacred geometrical shape that came before me, and I heard, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Yes." And then I don't know. I don't know if I like jumped through it, walked through it, whatever, but I just went into it. I knew I went into it. I had the knowing. I chose to go towards this form. And a lot of stuff happened. Okay, so a lot occurred in that first session. But oh, one of the most amazing things is that they guides star family were helping me. They were tweaking my how would you say, my energetic being. They were tweaking my energy and my so-called antennas. That's literally what it felt like. They were telling me that some things had to be adjusted. um so they were adjusting my energy. They were adjusting my, like I said, my antennas, my receptors, so that I could better receive the frequencies and the signals coming in from my star family, my galactic family, basically from different motherships. That's what it seems like. Receiving communication from higher beings. And at the time when they told me that, I didn't know exactly it meant that. I just knew that they were definitely helping clear away and fix some things so that I could hear them better, communicate with them, and it would be two-way communication. And they were kind of just reaffirming, they were confirming things on my life experiences and how that affected me, and kind of, it brought me to the point where I was at that moment in time. Why, it took some time to remember. Especially the sexual trauma. It took a huge toll. Um, it was so beautiful the way the energy moved in that session. It was so beautiful how, see, I even want to cry right now. It was so beautiful the way spirit moved, the way they moved to inspire the mestre to play certain songs, and the songs were just confirming everything they were telling me. And my session was really special because I ended up doing one just for me, and that's so insane. In this group, in this organization, they have 2 sessions per month, and it's a group thing. Like, people come together to drink the tea together. But I had traveled down with my stepmom, but found out that I couldn't drink with the group on Saturday for the Mother's Day special occasion. So the mestre, when he met me, which is also awesome, when he met me, which I know that's soul recognition too. I recognize this man, this soul. And he looked at me and he said, Trinity. He called me Trinity. He was like, I want to call you Trinity because I love the movie Matrix and your name is Trina. He's from Brazil too, so it was kind of cool, his accent. So, like, I can't remember if his wife calls me Trinity too, but that became the joke with them, that I'm Trinity. And he talked with me and said, I'm going to do a session just for you. And they did. They did it at this. She's a member of the group, but also I befriended her, and so I loved it. And the whole description is in that video. I'll link it, of course. So it was just so special. It was like my galactic family was coming in so strongly, and everything was being moved in such a way for me, because it was just time. It was time for me to recover memories and information within my DNA and have communication. After so long of, crying and pleading out and trying to make contact, I finally had this really, really strong contact with them. And during the session too, um, wow, it was kind of painful and sad. I became aware of this horrible, horrible, devastating war. And not just any war, it was a galactic war. I could tell it was a galactic. It was not fought on ground, like, or at least not just on ground. And wow, while I say that, the wind moves so strongly. I remember, while, still under the magic, I'll just put it that way, of Mother Ayahuasca, I saw a quick glimpse, like, or memory. It was just like a restored memory of a galactic war, and then kind of like this part, I don't know. I don't know if it was me just doing it in the now moment or if I was seeing myself from that time. But I just know that I looked up and there was just so much sorrow. I felt a lot of pain because I knew there was something catastrophic happening. That I had this memory of something extremely catastrophic and devastating, like horrible, horrible, horrible war. A lot of death, a lot of destruction, a lot of hate. Yeah. Um, After that session, I went home and was nothing was the same. After that, um, a lot more information kept coming to me, past life memories, and just knowing a lot had been unlocked, and there really was no way to talk about it. I didn't feel like it was time to talk about it, especially to share it publicly. And there's still stuff from that session and other sessions I still haven't shared or haven't talked to anybody about. I've only shared it with maybe like one person. Definitely Ty. I've talked with him about, and as I say Ty, then he texts me, you know, but some things just were not meant to be spoken about, and um, things in their own time will be revealed, like I've said before. And let's see here. Got a little sidetracked because he's talking about food. We love food. Um, yes. So about the communication. The other wonderful thing that occurred, because I didn't talk about it publicly, I didn't talk about it, like I said, publicly, and I reached out to a woman named Lavendar. Uh, I found her because I was doing a bunch of research and having memories come back, and I don't remember how, but I found her page, and she has freaking owls like all over her site, and like you can tell, like if you're a starseed and you go there, there's just certain keys. There are things that will trigger you and trigger memory. And I mean, look, I'm wearing a shirt with an owl on it. So owl is important to me, and owl kept coming to me. So it's like there's there's definitely more than one animal that comes to me and is like a messenger, a power animal, how you say, and like I feel like I carry energy from multiple animals on the planet, like their power, their wisdom. And so I found her, ended up having her read my chart, and I'm not going to go too much into that because that's also for another time. But let's just say the stuff that they saw in my chart. We're talking about my astrological chart, my birth chart, where everything was lined up the moment I incarnated on Earth. They can see things, and they, I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Like you can't. You know what I mean? Like if anybody would have doubt, I mean, it just can't be made up. Like she mentioned things that she should not know. She mentioned things that I had already received through drinking the tea. As I said, like the my star family, they were. helping me with my reception, if you will, with my energy, my frequency, but also my antennas, to tweak, to fix it so that I could receive the proper frequency. So I could receive beams of energy, ultimately communication, and then, be able to translate it into, human words. And some things I communicate through video, through blog, through social media. And some things, are just for me or for my knowing to help me. And she said the same thing. She saw it in my chart that I have multiple markings of the communicator and not just um, receiving communication. She was like, this isn't just like you being able to receive messages. She was like, you have the markings of two-way communication. Like, you are here as a communicator, one, as a leader, but you also have the capability of making contact, of talking with them and then receiving messages back. She was like, okay, so you are a galactic communicator. Like, you're doing it both ways. She also saw that I have these multiple markings. Wow, look at that. Multiple markings of the healer. And yeah, and at the time though, I wasn't like ready to just be flat out like I'm a healer, because I still was trying to figure out in which ways, like, how was my energy supposed to flow. I already kind of, I already had the understanding that healing was occurring just by me speaking, just by me communicating. Healing can take place for a person. I was also becoming aware that sometimes healing was occurring for someone just by me being around them. As I have a certain frequency, and when I come around a person, they may receive this healing, whatever it may be that they've been needing, whatever. Sometimes things happen that I do not know. I don't, sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't. Um, I've hugged strangers and can feel energy moving through me to them. And then sometimes I probably am just sitting by someone and have no idea they're receiving healing. So healing can occur in multiple ways. Um, so it took me a while to get to the point where I'm at now, where I know that I can also help others, you know, like consciously, like I'm doing it, I can help clear things out of your space, out of your aura. I can do that through, I guess, I know, like Falun Dafa, they call it energy manipulation, but I guess that's basically it. I mean, you are manipulating energy, you are moving it around, you're doing stuff to it. So, yeah, there's that. I can help clear out energy with sound healing. Um, and there's some stuff that I don't ever talk about except with friends. But when I do these journeys with sacred plant medicines, and yeah, I'm saying that correctly, they are plant medicines. They are plant sacred master teachers within the plant kingdom, fungi kingdom, whatever. I personally love, I mean, first of all, I love working with Mother Ayahuasca, which is a tea that is made from a leaf and a vine. And then you have mushrooms, which, oh my God, it's so similar to Mother Ayahuasca, but not, but it's very similar. But she's just like, boy, like she brings earth energy with cosmic, I mean, like crazy cosmic energy, like this insane multi-dimensional experience. Shrooms is amazing. It's very earthy and yet still has some like this cosmic connection as well, but it's just not as strong, at least for me, as Mother Ayahuasca. Now, when I do ceremonies, which I've only done it with Ty. And I've even done ceremonies with him with acid. And there's like this knowledge, this knowing that I have. So I know it's from past lifetimes. It's knowledge that I've, passed down from lifetimes. It's stuff that I've prepared for, worked on, was trained in. Um, I can go into these other realms, realities. I can see multiple things. I can definitely see energetic beings. So if there's anything that is impure, I see its energetic form and I clear it. And it happens naturally. I remember when I drank the tea, I was just like, "Whoa, okay, what am I seeing?" And it's funny because it's kind of like what I already see and used to see when I was little, but was scared. So somehow I taught myself to block it. Well, with plant teachers, you just can't block it. You go there. It happens. And so it was through her and these other plant teachers that I came to accept these gifts that I can see and that I can clear. Um, and Lavendar didn't go so much in depth with that as far as clearing, but she spoke about the healing, and the healing is what made me go on the tangent about clearing and using plant medicines to do ceremonies. Anywho, I forgot what session it was. I mean, like I said, I drank the tea for 9 months, so a lot occurred. A lot of information came forth for me. Um, but like I said, there's no way she would have known these things. You know what I mean? She's reading my chart. There was a lot of information that came forth. Galactic information and past life info about my DNA, my bloodline. And she spoke about that in the chart reading. So I have like great gratitude for Mother Ayahuasca because she helped me remember stuff that I don't know how long it would have taken me to remember. And I remember right after Italy when I heard about ayahuasca, I said, I'm doing that. It didn't scare me. It just sounded very familiar, and I was like, I know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it, and it happened. Like months after I stated it, the possibility became available. So wow. I mean, first of all, I encourage every single person to drink the tea. I think that if every single human being on this planet had one session with her, oh my God, like we would go through rapid ascension, like the planet would just dramatically change. In 1 year, a person from the past wouldn't be able to recognize the way we are now. You know what I mean? Like things would be so different. People would be so aware, so self-aware, take responsibility, um, and just be spiritually aware and awake and be working on their healing, working on what they need to clear up and move along on their path, right? Um, and personally, we would have much different structures in society. We would be running things a lot differently. I mean, we're still gonna get there, but holy heck, like if every single person had a cup of ayahuasca right now, things would change like insanely fast. Um I don't know, I wanted to let this flow and just share my experience on how as a starseed it took me a while to remember. And there's a lot of stuff that I have to remember. Um but it becomes clearer and clearer every day. And once again, I'm feeling that push to dig further, to remember more. And definitely a lot came forth, to remember when I met Ty. And tell me if any of you feel this way, that because eventually it just got to a point after meeting Ty and us doing these journeys together with plant medicines, because when we do that, we also gain insight and tap into our other selves, our other aspects. We have past life memories, but we also remember what we perceive as future memories, our future selves. Well, tell me if any of you guys feel like we're in the past. The fact that we are human. We're in this dimension, right? And we're human. We're on planet Earth. Do any of you feel like this existence, this lifetime, what's occurring right now is actually the past? And I don't know how else to put that. I'm basically saying that I told Ty this. I was like, I literally feel like we have time traveled to the past to experience it, and we are, so like all this already happened, but we are receiving guidance and information from our future selves. So although it kind of seems like we're tapping into um, other aspects, which they are our other aspects, and some are not, human form. We're not always humanoids. We're other beings, and some of our aspects are not even in human form. We're more energetic beings. So on other planes of existence, other dimensions, I was like, it seems like we're really just receiving guidance from who we actually are. I don't know how to word this. I'm basically saying, like, this is the past. Earth is the past. What's occurring now is actually the past. Just don't mind me. I'm doing stretches. So, I have no other way to put that. Okay? Like, it just. And then when you think about it, okay? Think about it in scientific terms. How these star systems and planets. Look at Wolfie, his sleepy face. Ovi. Oh, you sleepy. Oh. Think about it. They are light years away. They're so freaking far away. Okay? So in our perceived time, it would take forever to get there. It would take forever to come back. Right? So if that's the case, if it's so far away, and if we are existing out there, are there aspects in the future? Really, it's the now, and this is the past. Okay, but actually, yes, but I also want to get into multi-dimensional existence and all that, because like many of us know, time is actually not linear at all. Like there are all these realities and existences we are experiencing in the now moment. It's not like today, tomorrow, 5 days from now, a year from now, 500 years ago, the year 2000, whatever. Like, it's not flat. Okay? Time is more cyclical. It's what are you doing, you goofy? And man, the more and more you start to have these trippy experiences and wake up more and remember more, you're gonna notice these things. You're gonna notice that fuck, it's not, time is just not linear. And I really, really hope to get into talking about timelines merging and multidimensional existence and all that soon. I've been wanting to do that for a very long time. I know I spoke about it once or twice, and I would really like for Ty to do it with me because I've experienced this mostly with him more than anybody else, and it's pretty trippy. Um, um, wow, I don't know, I'm kind of excited, and there's just tons. There's actually tons to talk about that I don't talk about, and maybe I just get too formal about it and think that I have to be really formal about it. So, but but yeah, I mean, do any of you feel that like we're actually in the past? And I actually wanted to bring it up and mention it because I was doing research, reading a document um, by Lisa Royal, which is really fascinating. And her document is actually, I can't, like, I want to just read it and just be like, okay, first let me just read it and then I'll decide if this is true or not. But I'm reading it and so much is just resonating. Like, have you ever had that? That's another way you need to pay attention. Like, your logical, your mind, your ego is going to want to analyze and tell you that something can't make sense. But your soul, okay, and your higher knowing is going to guide you. So you need to pay attention to what resonates. And that's really how I've gotten where I am in my process and path, is because you have to follow and let things unlock. You have to follow your voice, you have to follow your intuition, your divine guidance, pay attention to signs, pay attention to things that are coming through guides or people, things that are just coming through people. People may be saying things, or you might be hearing things or numbers and all that. Just let everything unfold, but um, it will unfold for you. And she, in this one document, so much is mentioned that it's just like, whoa, because like I said, been doing research for years on Lemuria, star races, um, okay, the galactic history, DNA, light language, like all these things. And I didn't even get into how I started to have dreams and memories of Venus, okay? Having history, lifetimes in Venus, and I can't remember if she mentions it in there. And then also memories of like Orion, Lyra, and Sirius. I've always been drawn to Sirius like crazy. Um, so a lot of different things. And maybe I'll just make more videos because this one's getting kind of long. But like I could get into more detail. But she's mentioning so many things that actually are putting pieces together for me because of dreams I've had, memories that have come forth, visions I've had, memory recall, like I said, whether it's memory recall when I go to sleep at night or randomly just have it come to me, or when I'm communing with a plant teacher, or when I'm with Ty. I've had a lot of memory surface once I met Ty. And so there's just stuff that's said in this document that I'm like, whoa, dude, okay, like, so that document led me to Google this one guy, Bill Meyer, I think is how you would say his name. And apparently he like photographed Pleiadians and their ships, their crafts coming to Earth. Somehow this led me to find, like, I was clicking on photos and then somehow I ended on this one photo of this one woman who's Ukrainian. And she's called the Real Life Barbie or something like that. And she is very outspoken about being alien, about being a starseed, about not, coming to Earth with a very specific mission. And she's gotten a lot of judgment and hate, for the way she's carrying out her mission. But she said something in this documentary. She said, coming to Earth, it's actually coming to the past. And I'm here because I wanted to perfect my past a little. And when she said that, I was like, there you go, dude. Like, I'm telling you, like, I really feel like I'm in the past. I don't know how else to explain it, but but if you say it and you just know it, like it's just blah. I don't have scientific, fancy, metaphysical terms to explain it. This is how I can convey it, and maybe it resonates with you, maybe it doesn't. Okay, whatever. If it does resonate, I'd love to hear what your thoughts on it. Um, she said quite a few things actually, and she also mentioned Venus. So I was like, this is so cool because I've never, thus far, but then again, I had put a halt on my research on my memories and different places that I feel called to, and like I've spent time there, lifetimes. I put a halt on that. So I mean, I'm back into it, and she mentions Venus, and like I said, I have not heard of anybody mentioning Venus. Even when I was drinking the tea, I had guides bring up Venus to me and tell me about Venus. So, um, which is actually pretty important. Um, Venus is called the bright and morning star. It's very, 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 very important, and it's just so interesting because this Venus is very important to this organization that drinks the tea. I'm wiggling around because I don't like to sit and be one place for too long, so don't mind me. I'm a little bit ADD. I think I just want to get into more of this later, but I at least just wanted to start a conversation because I haven't. I don't think I've done a video on Starseed stuff and for Starseeds specifically in a very, very, very long time. But that really is the call, and also the call coming in is to really rectify and clear up misinformation and the agenda of false information and false history, and keeping information from the human race and the human race's origins and all of that galactic history. And I truly feel like a lot of us star seeds are here to fix that, to help the human race like wake up and remember our true galactic history and origins. Um, what we have thus far is not completely true about the human race and how we evolved. And I know many of you know that already. And about DNA. And I mean, so many people now do know about disclosure and everything, but there are still so many out there who really, really, really don't believe that aliens, and I don't like using that word, but that aliens exist, that beings outside of Earth exist. It's so wild, but there are a lot of people who don't believe that, and they think that we're crazy. And there is, I don't even know the number, but there is just insane amounts of evidence. Many governments, many countries have come forth, have disclosed this information, and they've disclosed it to Stephen Greer and many other people. They've put it out there. It's the US who is just like, it's like, why are you holding on so hard to this when clearly so many other countries came forth about it? So like, really, like, how long do you think you can control people, that you can try and mind control the human race? Like, it's ridiculous. But there's so much information that's being withheld about our history, about the government and what it really is, about non-human beings, or people who, people who are not humans. There are others that are like humanoids, and then you have others that are not, that are different kinds of races, star races, and just there's all kinds of stuff that's being kept. It's we're literally not we. Well, when I say we, I mean in general, and like those that are in power. They really, really are trying to keep everyone here on the planet very dumbed down and controlled and in like the Stone Age. And I constantly get really frustrated. I'm like, when are we going to just move forward already? Like seriously, like this is ridiculous. The technology that they only allow the public to access and to have and to make it seem like it's so new when I'm telling you there is like way more incredible devices, technology that we should have access to right now. It's there, but they're not giving you access. And there are brilliant, intelligent souls on this planet who have invented devices. But the mass population will never know about it because once governments find out about it, specifically the US government, they go and either buy it out, destroy it, kill people over it. Like it's insane the strong level of control and desire to control. But it won't last much longer. That's all, that's all I'm going to say. It's not going to last much longer and you're seeing it. You're starting to see this crumbling taking place within our government, the US government. And I mean, we've seen it happen in other countries too. We've seen a lot of things unfold and kind of look like it's going into disarray and destruction, but a lot of things have to tear down first before things can be revealed, so things can come to the light. We got to drag out all those skeletons and lies, bring the light to the darkness. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna stop it there for you, bringers of the dawn, you light bringers, light workers. And maybe some of you don't realize that you are a light worker, that you're a starseed. Maybe some of this resonated and will help you on your journey. Maybe there are some of you who have no idea what the hell I've been talking about for the past hour, and that's fine too. But boy, I had to get it out, and I knew I had to communicate something because I saw 2 blue jays today, and I haven't seen blue jay in a really long time. So yeah, I said a lot, and I've got to let my energy settle a little. But I think I'll just hopefully continue to record different things on Starseed Matters, on our mission in general. But I really hope that not just to get information out there, but also because I would love to meet other like-minded individuals. I would like to really call out to those that are on similar paths, that they are on their path with their mission and piecing things together. Or maybe you have information that would be useful to me or me useful to you or whatever. Just whatever. I still call out for community. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. May you be blessed now and always. May the light within you that you are guide you. Namaste. Mitakwe Oyasi. Aloha Nui.
Atma, Namaste. Everyone, I am super excited to share my Patreon page. It will be launching soon, and if you do not know what Patreon is, I am more than happy to explain it to you. I will be providing links below. Also, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me questions. But I am very intrigued to know who will be interested in joining my community. So please reach out, let me know if you will be interested in joining my Patreon community. You can reach me on Facebook, send me a message. You can comment below in any of my videos. You can even personally email me. My email is trina@acosmopolite.com. You can also find my email in the About section on my YouTube channel. Thank you, beautiful, beautiful souls. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.